What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing my Catless downpipe right here. I got this Catless downpipe from PLM. This is for my 2012 Wrx. I haven't seen any reviews for this before. I haven't seen any videos, any sound clips, nothing. So today we're going to be going through the whole thing. We're going to unbox it, we're going to check out the quality, install it, and do a bunch of sound clips and drive-bys and revs and stuff like that. So stay tuned and let's take a look at it. Now that we got this out of the box, let's take a closer look at it. If you want to look inside of here, you can see that it has been welded and then ground smooth. So in there it looks okay. Take a look at the welds around the flange. Try to get in close there and zoom. They look pretty nice. Everything looks pretty good on this. You've got your extra O2 bung right here. Then of course there's the mounting bracket. Here's your other O2 bung. The flanges are probably at least 3/8 thick. And then, oh, let's get right here. Check that out. So there's the first glance of this downpipe. Looking over it, it looks really nice, it looks really good, but like we all know, getting it in the car and seeing how it fits is a different story. Okay, so I'm gonna go inside, order that gasket, and then we're gonna fast forward to the future and get this downpipe installed. All right, so we're back maybe a couple weeks later, and I've got my gasket. Here you can see the difference. This one's got multi-layers on it, and this one is just like that. I don't like it. So, I've already got the car up on the ramps. I've got my creeper, and first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come over here, and first I'm gonna start taking off this heat shield. There's 10 bolts holding that baby on the bottom, on the top, so you gotta get all around it. Here's the turbo. We got our heat shield bracket on the back here. And now we're just going to take off the bolts that are on the back of the turbo, and you're going to need 2 wrenches on here, and then on this one there's just some studs, and I'm not sure what's on the back. I'm pretty sure those are studs too. Now we're just going to take off the bolts for the turbo. Now I got all of my turbo bolts out. Now I'm going to go underneath the car down there. Now I'm taking out those 2 bolts. I'm going to unhook the sensor, and then I'm going to disconnect the bolt from the transmission that holds that bracket on. And there she is, she's out. Getting this thing out is definitely way easier than a J-pipe in one of the FA engines. Look at that old gasket. You know this is the original gasket. This thing has never been changed. Look at that nice little cut right there. You can't do nothing without cutting yourself. Now with that downpipe out, I could move my sensor over to my new one. I'll throw my gaskets on, and I'll get everything mounted back up the way it was. Putting my new gasket on. There we go. Alright, so I got everything all done, everything's all back together. You can see in here, everything mounted upright. this bolt right here is where the stud came out, and I ended up just putting a bolt through it anyways. All the bolts went back into the right places. I got my heat shield bracket back on so that I can get a new heat shield for right there. So there is where it mates up to the cat back. It fits right there. I got the oxygen sensor back in. The only thing that sucked about the oxygen sensor was that it wasn't quite long enough to reach the connector. I ended up having to pull the harness through the other side for it to be able to reach. And there's the bracket. I got that all lined up. So everything lines up. Everything looks pretty good. Alright, so I'm back in the car. Got the car on. Got the access port. Now I'm going to change it to the stage 2 off-the-shelf map. Go to Reflash. Now I know that this is supposed to be for a catted version, but I plan on getting a tune. So I'm only going to run this for maybe a few days, and then I'll be all tuned up and everything will be better. All right, we got it flashed. Now it's time for the reset. Done. Okay, so I'm all done. Now I'm going to go inside. I'm going to get Lindsay and have her do a startup for us. So it's the next day. When Lindsay started up the car, I noticed that there was a definite exhaust leak. I don't know if you could tell too, but I wanted to go get that figured out, and it turns out a couple of the bolts were rusted out, so I ripped them out, put some new ones in to hopefully make it sound a little bit better. And now, as you can see, it's raining today, but that's not going to stop us from getting some sound clips. So we're going to do a cold start, a warm start, and some drive-bys and revs. Cold start.